Okay, so Jaden Hassan, what's the dramas there? And Scotty Moyer's gone back into the pit, so a depleted field, and certainly championship. Okay, we got a good start. John Ross is on fire there. John Ross on the Repsol Suzuki takes it off the front there, and a big pack, of course, going into the first corner, but John Ross, he's held it out there, and we're just going to ask these people to move that back a bit so we can see in the commentary. Of course, we've got a couple of extras up here, but that's all good. And in second place is the Fujitsu Suzuki GSX-R 1000, the first of the Hondas. James Smith there in third place, and Tony Rees there on a standard bike. As I say that, I think Nick Cole on the Kawasaki's hunting them down as well, so action aplenty. There'll be the BMW of Linda McGee out there too. Linda McGee getting up to second in the race yesterday before a crash, and there is Dennis Charlotte sitting in about 8th place with the last place bike. Oh no, Jaden Hassan's back out there, so that's all good, but it is the Aprilia RS34, second to last on the track. Most of the season he's run around in last place, and that's still in Telford. Not had a crash this season in the Superbike Championship, so that's a great credit to a young man who's got a good future in Superbike racing. So action aplenty. John Ross had a hell of a season down south, but looks like he's sorted out his bike problems and got his head round it, and what a flyer of a start. Remember that start we had down at Ruapuna where we put a new clutch in and came up, he was near vertical there, and so high he had his feet off the pegs and couldn't even grab the back brake. It was almost an endo there in Dawson.
Yeah, he meant to do a practice start before he went out, but he forgot all about that, and then that was his first start on that new clutch and pulled a gigantic wheelie, which he happened to do here. He did a big, massive jump start here last year. John, so anyways, you know what, Jaden is actually starting from pit road. That's a bit for the story. We're looking at John there, but you're looking right behind there. Sloan, Sloan Frost back there in second spot, who actually used to be the lap record holder here. I think it may be still the lap record holder in the F1 class around here. And no, in the F1.
Oh, sorry, we're talking to different classes.
And back then, James Smith. James having a much better weekend this weekend than what he had last weekend. It was one he wanted to forget. He said it to me yesterday that he was pretty beaten up from last weekend, but hey, that's what we come here to do. We come here to ride motorbikes, and that's why he's back out there on the Honda there, right in third place, right up behind Sloan Frost. And then Linda McGee had a few issues yesterday as well and got disqualified from that last race, and wasn't particularly happy about it, but hey, that's the way things go. He
crashed though, didn't he, and is not allowed to rejoin the race. That's the rules changed halfway during the season due to safety, and it's unfortunate for Linda McGee, but I believe there might be even a protest in on that, but all eyes are on the track, and it is John Ross, but stretching the legs is, I think that's James Smith got into second spot there. Where is Sloan Frost amongst that? Has he been pushed back to fourth?
No, he's first.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. Yep.
And Nick Cole in third, and Linda McGee, then Tony Rees, then James Smith. Something obviously happened way up the top there, didn't it? Because that's a big free showing from in that half a lap.
Okay, looking at the points I mentioned, there's 12 points between Jaden Hassan and Dennis Charlotte. 12 points on the track, and Dennis running in right now is in 7th place. He's had struggling all weekend trying to get grip. I talked to the team yesterday, and they were shortening the bike up. To be honest, I think Dennis has always struggled at this track. We've seen him here a couple of years ago. He's several times New Zealand Supersport champion, but always struggled at this track. He can dominate at other places, but Dennis struggling this weekend, and of course Jaden Hassan is now right on his tail. Jaden leads by 12 points and right on the track. He's ready to take in Dennis Charlotte. I don't think it'll be too much longer, but Nick Cole up there into second place. Nick Cole's up there into second place over and above John Ross. Ian Dawson,
Jaden's just taken Dennis going up, leading up to the top of the corner there, up to the back part of the top part of the circuit out of sight, but he took Dennis, so he actually was in front there. Jaden will obviously be the fastest guy on the track at the moment, I would imagine. Half a second faster than everyone else out there.
The only man in the 29s, and we got 1, 2, in fact the top 5, top 6, apart from James Smith, are in the 130s, and I think that'll be because James Smith had that little bit of an incident in the last thing and went from about 2nd or 3rd down to about 7th or 8th. There we go, Sloan Frost, another perfect lap, 29.023. Where's those lap records? A 29.023. We've got young Jacob Stroud joined us in the commentary box, and he's going to tell you what the lap record is.
The lap record for for production 2 bikes is 128.0, but yeah, Jaden's at the moment doing 128.6, so he's half second off lap record. So yeah, that should be going down as the race goes on. Yeah.
Okay, faster that front pack there. The lead bike is on a 129.023. 7,000s, 8,000s of a second, and Nick Cole's on a 129.015. It's marginally quicker.
Underneath, having a look up the inside of Tony Reese there, but Tony slams the door on him. Obviously, when you're doing these kind of things, you're walking towards the front. You're obviously the closer you get to the front, the harder it gets to actually start passing guys. And Jaden got his nose cut off well and truly in that manoeuvre just then. So
a tyre battle out there as well. Pirelli for the first bike, and in the second position we've got Nick Cole on Metzler's, I believe, and then in third place is Pirelli's. But any idea what the other tyres are running there, young Jacob Stroud?
No, I think that's the main base that everyone's running on. But yeah, I mean, as Jaden's got up through the field, it's getting pretty hard. But I mean, all of these Superbike riders, almost all, I think, except Dylan maybe.
Well, Jaden's just up to he cut his way through a couple. If you say something like that, Jaden took 3 places on that lap.
Yeah.
He's up to fifth spot, up to fifth.
Yep.
On the track, and fastest man on the track. Oh, is a speak fourth on the track underneath John Ross at turn 1.
Yeah. Okay, under threat 2 in second place. Nick Cole's currently sitting in second place behind the GSXR 1000 of Sloane Frost, but Linda McGee has got the goods to do it. He's got a bit of egg on his face, got up to second yesterday, won a race last weekend, won a couple at the New Zealand Superbike Championships at Manfield last year. Linda McGee is closing in very, very hard on Nick Cole. Tries to look up at the inside coming into turn 7, but doesn't quite do it, but he's certainly got the race pace, and Linda McGee putting in a 28.511. His best time over and above Nick Cole's 29.004, so half a second quicker on the track partway through the race. 12-lap race, I think, this race for the Superbikes, is it? Sponsored by Penny Homes, the local home builders, and you can go to page 17 of the program and have a look at the Penny Homes ad. They're also sponsoring Scott Moyer. Unfortunately, Scotty Moyer, the current lap record holder, coming to the pits after a warm-up lap, so a problem there in that team, so that's disappointing, but one race left after this one for Superbikes for him to do that. Banging down that back straight, it still is Nick Cole in second place. He's opened up a bit of a gap between him and Linda McGee, but with that bit of the gap is about 6 bike lengths. If that, it closes up to 2 or 3. Jaden Hassan's coming across on this pack, and John Ross has slipped back into 4th place. James Smith is the lead guide of the 2 Hondas with Tony Rees there, and who is that in behind them? That is Dennis Charlotte. Dennis Charlotte, oh so hungry for points, but not having it all his own way this weekend.
Yeah, Jaden Hassan, that lap's only 2 tenths off the lap record, so these guys are real pushing it out there. It's pretty good conditions. I mean, it's cool and sun, so just what you wanted to help our track.
Coming down that back straight, it looked as though Sloane had quite a big gap, but by the time they get round here, they've closed right back up there. And of course, we can't forget Nick Cole making a welcome return back to the Superbike field here for the last 2 North Island rounds. Linda McGee obviously trying to make up for the performance from yesterday at the DNF from yesterday. He said that he was quite happy out there before he had the incident out there. He got a bit brake checked by James Smith at the top there, and that's what caused the incident. But he obviously showing the turn of speed that he had from last weekend too, winning the New Zealand TT at Hampton Downs. Yeah,
and he had a massive crash here on the Friday, and he's very, very sore. He thought he'd even broken his back. That's how sore the man was. But a very famous name in the motorcycling world, and he's going places in Australia. But between Hampton Downs and Taupo meeting, he's been back to Australia and tested a Honda, and might go into the Australian Superbike Championship to replace injured rider Jamie Stouffer. So keep an eye on Linda McGee, both here on the track and, of course, in the Australian thing. And thank you very much to M1 Motorsport for hunting down a rider of this calibre and coming in there.
Jaden Hassan up the inside. Linda McGee at turn 1 makes the big move up to 3rd, goes a bit wide. McGee back out at the inside of Jaden, gets into 3rd briefly, then loses it again to McGee, gets a better line out of turn 1. So still, as is Sloane Frost, Nick Cole, Lynn McGee with Jaden Hassan trying as he might, because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but if he finishes in this position here, will he be New Zealand Superbike champion?
He's got a 12-point lead at the moment, so what's he going to get? No, I don't quite think that'll be enough points to, if Dennis Charlotte, there's 4 bikes separating them, so we need to work it out. Yeah, we need to get the calculators out and that. So touch and go a little bit, touch and go.
5. But
All right, we'll work that out in a minute. Right now, there's 12
Yeah,
points
won't
separating
be.
first and second, 27 points separating second and third,
Just using
and then it goes 7 down to Sloane Frost. Sloane Frost will move up into third position with he over and above Jane Smith. Jane Smith currently sitting on the track in 6th place, but Sloane's out there in the front, so there'll be a massive gap there. So 7 points. This is what he wants. Sloane Frost has finished a number of times in third place in the New Zealand Superbike Championship. Who's that dicing there for third place? It's Linda McGee and John Ross.
no,
Jaden Hassan, sorry,
Hassan,
Jaden Hassan, yeah. I should have gone to
And
sleep
we're told
early.
it's Hassan. You were correct.
Hassan, yeah, Hassan. Dennis Charlotte comes through and picks up a place and passes Tony Rees, and he's hunting the pack. So Dennis Charlotte also needs those points to retain his number 1 plate. Was going to retire from motorcycle racing this year. Suzuki New Zealand says, no, we want you back out here. So he decided to come back out there, sponsored by Underground Brown Suzuki, along with a whole host of other people. And Dennis, a great man to have around the pits somewhere along the line. And
You got something on your mind there, Spider.
it's that.
Do you need to go and have one?
No, I just bin and emptied the catcher for the 14th time today after a bit of bad fish fly. Get back on the track.
Get back on the track there. No, that won't be enough for Jaden Hassan. He'll have another. Jaden Hassan won't seal the championship quite yet. He has to finish in the next one, and there'll be 7 points. Pulls another 7 points back. 7 points ahead of Dennis Charlotte.
Looking towards the tail
where
end.
he finishes now.
Looking towards the tail end of the pack, the eyes should be on Dennis Charlotte. He's gone past Tony Rees. He's sandwiched between 2 Hondas. He's got James Smith. But, of course, James Smith is a man that's been right up at the lead end. Won Superbike Championship races as well, somewhere along the line, and hunting down for first place as well. It looks like Jaden Hassan is going through in there into second, maybe. Nick Cole's hanging on to it, but Nick Cole's closing in, and Nick Cole's closing in on Sloane Frost as well. And then, meanwhile, we've got Jaden Hassan coming through there. Linda McLee's dropped off a bit there, but still holding a good solid 4th place. We look out for this pack there, and Dennis Charlotte has gone through past 2 riders there.
Well,
Dennis Charlotte is on the hunt.
If Jaden, Seth, our bundle of knowledge here, is just saying that if Jaden actually wins, Dennis actually has to finish 5th or better to keep the championship alive. And as we turned round right then, they're both fast riders, and Jaden is in 3rd and Dennis is in 5th. So the championship is well and truly alive. And you never count that old dog out, as John Ross says. He said, Dennis absolutely pisses me off because he's always there.
Well, drama's out there. Well, not really dramas. A 1:28.079 used to be the lap record. In fact, that's listed as Craig Schiff. Scotty Moyer should have that from last year, but it's listed as a 1:28.079. Anyway, let's get back to it. Jaden Hassan has now gone into the 1:27s, a 1:27.797. So that's a blistering pace there for the man in 3rd place. We've seen him taking a small more. So he flies down past Nick Cole down that back straight. Nick will try to get him under brakes, but certainly not going to happen at the moment. So there is Jaden Hassan, come from a pit lane start up into 2nd place. He's hunting down Sloane Frost. We'll see them click over there. 8 laps now, and I think these are 12-lap races. I can check out the program, and that is a 12. It's a 15-lap race here at Taupo Motorsport Park for the second to last Superbike race of the 2015 season. What a drama it's been. We saw last weekend, the final race of the day. I lined up there watching the guys on the grid, and there was just one of them hadn't crashed just that weekend, far less the whole season. And Dylan Telford, the non-crasher, and I must say he hasn't crashed all season at the Superbike level, so good. It's good to see him. There he goes through there on the start-finish line on the Aprilia RSV4, about 30 horsepower down on everybody else. Eyes over there to turn 7. It still is Sloane Frost, but hunting him is the new lap record holder, Jaden Hassan. And in behind him, Nick Cole's dropped off the pace. Oh, I don't think he's dropped off the pace. I think just Jaden Hassan's on an absolute flyer. In 4th place, Linda McGee. Dennis Charlotte's moved up into 5th place. John Ross, Tony Rees, James Smith, Dylan Telford.
We just have reconfirmation about that. If Jaden Hassan wins this race and Dennis Charlotte finishes 5th, then it's over. Then Jaden Hassan is the new Superbike champion, but he's not there yet.
Not there, and look, he's been around for a couple of years. The youngest ever winner of a New Zealand Superbike Championship race or Formula One over the years at 19 years old. The biggest problem he's got now is letting the pressure get to his head and making mistakes. We saw a mistake a couple of laps ago. Only one mistake. I'm going to give him that one, you know. We don't want to jinx him in that, but that's the biggest problem, the concentration. Of course, it's the same for everybody up there, but right now, 1:28.346. He's about 0.3 of a second quicker than Sloane Frost. They're going to have to go push hard. He's going to have to push hard with 5 laps to go to get past. He's got to get up behind Sloane Frost on the Fujitsu GSX-R 1000, but he's also got to poke his nose in front. There's a battle on there too between Dennis Charlotte and that's John Ross and I think James Smith there. There's nothing in it. That's Tony Rees amongst that. James Smith dropped off the pace. They're coming out of turn 6 into the hairpin at turn 7, and Dennis Charlotte certainly gaining some valuable points. He was behind both, in fact 3 of these guys earlier on, but now moving through. But the race is not over. We're still only 2/3 of the way through the first Superbike race of the day, the second one of the weekend.
And of course we've got a new lap record on the way, which was 120. That just confirming that lap record from earlier, 127.797 to Jaden Hassan on lap 8. Down to now Sloane Frost getting closed down by Jaden Hassan. Jaden Hassan not doing an amazing job. That we'll have to find out what the story was, why he had to actually start from pit, why he had to come back into the pits and start from pit lane, but he went from dead last. Is now challenging for the lead behind Sloane Frost and Suzuki. Some way back to Nick Cole on the Kawasaki, and then back to Linda McGee on the BMW, having a bit of a lonely ride out there. But then further back is a battle of 3 between Dennis Charlotte, current New Zealand Superbike champion, John Ross on the Repsol Suzuki, and also Tony Rees on the Honda Riders Insurance CBR 1000.
Got to take my hat off to Tony Rees. He blew both his Superbike engines up over the season, one last weekend, one earlier on the season, and he says, no, I'm not going to spend any more money, might as well concentrate on next year. This was last weekend, turns up, of course, he's here supporting and helping his son Damon Rees in the 600cc class, but turns up and he's got a bike going there, says, yeah, Honda found me a standard edge, and he says, oh, I just love to ride. But love to ride, mate. He's right out there with 2 of the fastest bikes on the track on a standard Honda CBR 1000 engine. There's nothing in it in this race. Even way down the field, well, not way down the feed, they are having a bit of a battle there and standing people up, and we look over on that long straight, and Jaden Hassan has gone through to the lead. I didn't think it would happen so quickly, but Jaden Hassan has got the hammer down. We've on lap 11 of 15, and Jaden Hassan has gone through to the lead. So the man that leads the current New Zealand Superbike Championships by 12 points has got through there into the lead, and it was his fastest lap of 1:28.423. In fact, his fastest lap 1:28.708. So he's 1 second down on what he has done a couple of laps ago in this race. So tyre deterioration must be playing a part out there, but Sloane Frost has got the hammer down in second place. Nick Cole in a good solid third place. And Nick Cole is the quickest of the 2 of them on the track, doing a 1:29.1 as opposed to a 1:29.5. So with 5 laps to go, Nick Cole may be able to reel in for the second place there of Sloane Frost. And not bad for a man who's retired from Superbike for a year. He got out and led a couple of the races last weekend. There was one of those Superbike races where he got pipped by 11 thousandths of a second. So the quality field out there. Linda McGee having a bit of a lonely ride there in 4th place. He's in the 1:29s as well. He's got the speed to match it with 2nd and 3rd place out there. Unfortunately, he's just a little off the pace further down and not featuring. 4th will be a good finish for him. Dennis Charlotte, this is the last lap coming through the start-finish line. Dennis Charlotte, John Ross, Tony Rees, James Smith and Dylan Telford. All the bikes at the moment on the track have started, you know, obviously. And Scotty Moyer, unfortunately, didn't start the race. So no one crashed at this stage, but we don't put the commentator's curse on them. We go over to Jacob Stroud.
Yeah, we've just been working out this, using my secondary school education on this piece of paper. And we have figured out that if things stay the way they are at the moment, then Jaden will win the championship because he'll have 26 points. And, of course, you need 25 to win. So the best Dennis can hope for now, I guess, is if Jaden has a problem or doesn't win this race, because at the moment it's looking pretty ominous.
Yeah, well, it's all right. It's all very well. Jaden can't do any better than he is at the moment. He can't score. He's out in the lead and he can't score any more points. It's really up to Dennis to maybe pull through and get some more air in front of him. But he's a long way off to fourth place. But a great battle going on there still with John Ross sandwiched between Tony Rees and Dennis Charlotte there. And this battle's been going race long, and they must be having so much fun out there. It's just awesome. Change of position there, almost there. Tony Rees tries to go up on the inside of turn 5. It's not over, but Dennis Charlotte's got clean road ahead of him, but unfortunately there's about 10 to 12 seconds between him and Lyndon McGee in fourth place. So he'll just be riding as hard as he can, of course. Points are points, but he loves riding as well. He's won the New Zealand Supersport 600 Championship, I think, 3 years ago, and then moved up to Superbike. He had been Superbike racing some years ago. Over in Australia and that, and certainly a strong man, and carrying some injuries earlier on the season for some big ding-dongs down at Ruapuna as well. But look at this, Jaden Hassan, about 150 metres. We got the white flag coming out. Jaden Hassan followed by Sloane Frost. Nick Cole may well get up there into second place, putting in a good solid showing there. What do you reckon about the second, third place battle there, Jacob Stroud?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Sloane's got this pretty sorted, but Jaden is still doing... last lap he did a 28.1, and that was only like half a second, 4/10 of what his best was, and that was on lap record. So Jaden is still putting the hammer down. He's not slowing up, not being conservative or anything, but yeah.
That ding-dong's still going on at turn 1. It's the last lap. Dennis Charlotte, followed by John Ross, followed by Tony Rees. All old boys in the sport. I mean, how old's Dennis Charlotte there, Ian Dawson? He's got to be about... Ian Dawson's disappeared to go and do some pit lane interviews and catch up with the top 3, the first, second and third in the race. And, of course, he may be, in just a few minutes, be talking to the new New Zealand Superbike champion, the new 2015 Superbike champion. We've only got 2 classes to decide of that. All of the other ones were decided either last weekend, the 250 production was, yesterday. It's just Superbikes and sidecars, and that may go with just half a lap there on the beautiful presenter machine, the number 41, and Jaden Hassan, sponsored by a number of people: Dave Hempelman, RST, J.A. Russell, iPony Oil, AGV, Sabaki, EBC, NES, that's Nottingham Electrical Services, South City Auto Painters, Pirelli, and of course Suzuki New Zealand. So, ladies and gentlemen, get up there, give this man a standing ovation. Ladies, give him a standing ovulation. Jaden Hassan, the new New Zealand Superbike champion, comes through there, and a big wheelie to celebrate that. In second place it is Sloane Frost. What a massive wheelie from Nick Cole there, coming through in third. He's a happy man. And the battle is on there. Linda McGee's comes through in fourth, and the battle is on. Here comes Dennis Charlotte. Dennis Charlotte's got a bit of a break over and above John Ross. The race is on between John Ross and Tony Rees. That's how it sits. John Ross comes through, but not for the want of trying by Tony Rees, and that's 7 of the 8 finishes. James Smith, where's James Smith? James Smith's almost disappeared off the face of the earth. He was up there right in second place.